I got out of it and started working around the house and doing what I could. And the weather's been fantastic here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm very, very upset about Georgia going blue.
What happened there?
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I got a little theory on that. You may not like it, but I think Trump tilted the scales back then. It was a close race. It shouldn't have been a close race. I think the Republicans had the better candidates. But it looks like the Republicans were going to win Georgia, and then Trump went off on one of his stunts. Trump doesn't know when to shut up, I swear to God. he could lead. He
doesn't, and Trump is Trump, you know. And
he is.
You either like him or you don't like him. But I think people are missing him.
Yeah, I think. You know, you still got that Stacey Abrams down there who still hasn't conceded. She lost the Georgia governor's race. Are you kidding me? She hasn't conceded yet? What's going on?
Well, she's crazy. She's crazier than a bed bug, as we used to say.
You know what? She won't concede because she believes are you ready for this? The election for governor was illegal and she was cheated out of the office. Who does that sound like? That sounds exactly like Donald Trump. You know, but she's a hero in the Democratic Party. They don't even see the hypocrisy in that.
I'm telling you, the Democrat Party has gone way, way, way out of whack. I mean,
well, you have described them. You have described them as communist, socialists, and liberals.
That's exactly right. Communist, socialists, and liberals, and lost like a ball in high weeds.
Big Ed from Georgia is our guest. This is AM 1400 KBFD, the voice for Dodge, a longtime friend of mine, and Nevin Mulholland as well. Nevin, I'm sorry to report, is still a liberal. He's a good guy, but he's still a liberal, Ed. I haven't been able to do a thing with him. He won't listen to me. He won't listen to the truth. So I guess I'm just going to have to, let him be who he is, I suppose. Which is, by the way.
Well, I guess so. If he hasn't seen the light by now, I don't think there's a lot of hope.
What do you think about these trans athletes, transgender athletes, male transitioning to female? They want to play women's sports. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, 100% against it. It's absolutely lunacy.
It is a lunacy.
Lunacy is you don't know what the hell you're doing.
We had a bill down in the House this year in this past session that would prevented trans athletes from competing against females in high school sports, et cetera, et cetera. We couldn't get it out of there. We couldn't even get it out. We couldn't get the bill passed at all. And the reason is some of the Republicans are worried about discriminating against trans athletes. And I'm worried about little girls being hurt, about the little girls being discriminated against.
Absolutely.
I think sports is a great educational thing. I encourage all young women and young boys to find a sport they like and get involved. I think it's a great educational tool, but this is teaching them that there's no such thing as fair. Fair is what some flake says it is.
It's absolutely against our upbringing and stuff like that. When we were kids and grown up and stuff like that, the teachers are doing a lot of harm to our kids in a lot of different areas. I just know that they're teaching them not very much. They're not not very much.
Well, we did manage to pass a bill down in the Iowa House this year and Senate that prevented the teaching of the 1619 Project, which was teaching white kids how to hate themselves, and it was based on a false premise in the first place that the country is racist from the very first time a slave set foot in North America in 1619. Real historians took a look at that whole program and said, nah, it's shot full of holes. But that did not deter educators from wanting to indoctrinate our children in school with that. Little kids being taught nonsense like this. Your ancestors were bad. Your mom and dad were bad. Your grandmothers were bad, and you're bad. You believe somebody wants to teach that? That happened in old conservative Iowa here. That's a shock.
Yeah. Number one in education, too, back when we were growing up.
But I think we're further down the line now. If we educate our children in something that's obviously false, we should hide our faces in shame. frankly.
Yeah, it just makes you want to just throw up.
Make you want to holler.
Yeah, it makes you want to holler and scream. I'll tell you, I have been away from the news for the most part. When on January the 20th, I just pretty much gave up the ghost and said we're headed in the wrong direction. I didn't realize how wrong a direction we are headed in a lot of these states, especially the socialist communist states.
Like New York, yeah.
Yeah, like New York.
Or California, yeah.
Yeah. Washington, Seattle, Oregon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Jenny Durkin, the mayor of Seattle, after witnessing horrendous riots and rioters taking over a whole section of the city, declared that they were having a summer of love in Seattle.
If people didn't see that, they're blind. I'm telling you.
Well, that's stuff. That's dingbat stuff. That's all it is. You know? I mean, you can really put her over there in the dingbat category because that's utter by God nonsense. Even the mayor of Portland, Oregon, he was letting all that go for quite a long time and sneering that he didn't want Trump interfering and making things worse. Well, after he got attacked a few times by communist, socialists, and liberals, he changed his tune. Now he's clearing out some of these Antifa people. And of course, they're referring to him as a Nazi and all these sort of things. But they were doing that before. You can't please these people.
Well, I would think your audience is up probably about 100% from where it has been, being we're in the shape we're in. And people are listening to you. We appreciate you. You hold the torch up there in Iowa.
Well, I tell you, you can see me audio and video now on the AM 1400 KBFD Facebook page or the Alpha Media Fort Dodge website, either one. But I was gone quite a while, Ed. I got real sick with COVID in the fall, and I spent some time in the hospital and a long time recuperating. So I really haven't been on air for a while. I'm trying to let people know I'm back on the air. I see a lot of people are sending me little messages and stuff that glad to hear you're back and that sort of thing. So I was kind of laid up with that. Did you have any tussles with COVID down there in Georgia?
No, my son got it. But my wife and I, we stayed away from it. As far as we didn't get sick, we've been very blessed about that because I know one of my good friends at work, he wasn't but about 67, and he got sick, and about 10 days later, he passed away.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm sorry to hear that you were sick. I knew Big Don. You know, me and Big Don, we talk quite
Sure.
often, and he said that he hadn't heard you on, and he was concerned and this and that.
Well, that's the reason. I was laid up with
Bless
that.
your heart. We're glad you're recuperating and recuperated. Hopefully back as close to 100% as you can get.
Well, I've, that stuff hangs on. I talked with another guy that had COVID real bad not too long ago. And in fact, well over a year ago, he had COVID, and he's still carrying around a little oxygen bottle with him all the time. But it changes you. You know, he's 60-some years old himself. And it changes you. I mean, it changes you physically. And
we had a fellow 92 years old that got it. He was a kind of a wheel in the Republican place up in the town, and he got really sick. He was sick for about a month, but he recuperated.
92.
92.
By golly, that's a miracle story right there.
Well, I say the good Lord up above has something to do with whether you recuperate or not.
Oh, it does. Oh, absolutely. You know, heck, we're all gonna meet the end sooner or later. Hopefully later than sooner, but it doesn't scare me like it used to. It doesn't scare me like it used to, you know. And I'm gonna
I know it. I've been wanting to get back home and see. I got about 50 cousins up there, and
Are you all the way retired? Are you still doing the racing stuff, or what are you doing?
Well, only I went to the race this year, and then went last year around here, but I haven't been going to the dirt races like I do when I go to Iowa. I mean, we're up there, got about 3 nights a week. We're going somewhere, Algona, Britt,
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
Alta.
I
all
still
that.
like the dirt tracks here in Iowa. I've been to some pretty big races, California 500 I was at, and some others. I still prefer the little dirt tracks around here. I do. By the way, what we were going to have the All-Star game, Major League Baseball All-Star game in Atlanta this year. What happened there?
Lunacy. I mean, people just lunacy. I mean,
There's a certain mean-spiritedness to this.
It's just to throw fire and brimstone on the dadgum Republican Party.
Well, I think it's a Republican Party. They're just, I think they're just mad at white people in general. And these are white people. The chairman of Delta Airlines sitting up there and talking about how opposed he is to these new racist laws in Georgia, voting laws in Georgia, which are less restrictive than they are in New York City. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Here's the chairman of Delta Airlines saying that nonsense. He's at war with white supremacy. He's an old rich white guy. What's he talking about? What's he complaining about? He's got everything on God's green earth, and he's standing up there at the podium trying to get everybody to believe he's some sort of moral authority or moral leader. Baloney.
Well, I got the equation to solve this problem.
What's that?
We vote like we used to on the first Tuesday in November from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and that's it.
Ed, I got a suggestion for you. I want you to think about it. I'd like you to be on the air at least a couple times a month with me, and we'll call that segment Liberal of the Month or of the Day. Communist Socialist Liberal of the Month. We'll find some guy who's the Communist Socialist Liberal of the Month or woman or whatever, and we'll talk about them.
Well, that sounds like a plan. That's for sure.
Because I kind of like that way that flows. Communist, Socialist, Liberal of the Month. It can be.
Never in my life did I ever dream that we'd go this nuts.
Oh, well, yeah. You've got all the print media on the side of Flakes and even some TV, most TV. The only media that's fighting back is talk radio, and they'd like to shut us up. Believe me, there's always some petition to get me fired for being a non-liberal. That's the truth, Ed. That's the absolute truth. We've been on the air with my friend Big Ed from Georgia. Ed, thank you so much for calling on such short notice, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, sir, and have a great day.
You too. All right, it's 4:00, and this is AM 1400 KVFT.
This is Gary Rima, the voice of the UNI Panthers.